welcome to Sagittarius season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. I'm Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer, embodiment educator, and the creator of Embodied Astrology. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to pre-order your 2025 Year Ahead Expanded Horoscope now. The Embodied Astrology yearly forecasts for each sign go in depth with the most important transits, offering embodied suggestions for making the most of the opportunities and working skillfully with the challenges. A special treat for the 2025 readings will be sign-specific meditations that accompany your forecasts. You'll be able to use them throughout the year to increase and deepen your alignment with the upcoming year's transformative influences. You might also be interested in your 2024 annual reading, which still has lots of important information for the near and far future and prompts to reflect on the past. The 2024 readings are now discounted by 75%, and you can pre-order your 2025 readings or access this year's reading by clicking the link below. Embodied Astrology is much more than horoscopes and podcasts. It is actually a movement that is full of people who are interested in the ways that astrology can help us more deeply embody our earthly and universal intelligence. We offer ongoing classes, workshops, trainings, and community process spaces where we practice astrology as a language for living. We blend astrology with art, science, healing methodologies, and activist strategies. We hold space for ourselves and each other to expand and explore symbolism, mythology, and meaning. We queer, unpack, and evolve this ancient technology in service of our present needs and future potentials. If this sounds like something you've been looking for, or if my readings resonate for you and you want to take them to the next level, I hope you'll join us sometime. Stick around after your horoscope, and I'm going to tell you more about some of what we offer, how we work, and why I think embodied astrology is a great space for you too. If this work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free and help us keep all of our offerings available with financial accessibility and sliding scale, please take a moment right now to like, follow, and subscribe to our channels. This is the #1 way you can help us grow. This season's horoscopes are intuitive offerings for each sign of the zodiac. I hope that they serve and support you in some way. Listen for your sun, moon, and rising signs, and remember that not everything is for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest, and make the meaning that's most meaningful for you. Thank you so much for being here, and now, onto your horoscopes. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Sagittarius season. As we move into Sagittarius season, we are in the shade or in the shadow of two retrogrades in the fire signs. So we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Sagittarius on November 25th, and we have Mars stationing retrograde in Leo, which is your opposite sign, on December 5th. Throughout the course of Sagittarius season and into Capricorn season, these retrogrades are going to be really one of the most important astrological signatures. And you might be familiar with retrograde energy, and the prescription that many astrologers suggest for working with retrogrades is to apply the RE prefix liberally. Take your time to return, to remain, to revisit, to reconsider, to revise, to rework, to rethink, and reclaim. This is a period of time that offers renewal if you allow yourself to actually rest and get comfortable with things sometimes needing to reverse. We live in a culture that loves to move forward with a lot of certainty all of the time, but the truth of life on Earth is that it is cyclical. We have to sleep. Things have to go dormant. Not everything that begins is actually meant to continue. And what we're working with in this particular moment as we move into Sagittarius season is a lot of awareness of what isn't working. And that can be a kind of uncomfortable place to be in. And it can also be a place that we can get hardened around and really focus on in ways that make stories about permanence and judgment. And I think that what a lot of us will benefit from practicing right now, and certainly what I think Aquarians will benefit from practicing, is holding the problems of something and the ways that things aren't working with a lot of space for curiosity and contemplation of how they became what they are, and maybe the truly great ideas that are part of them that also got thwarted or got mutated, and like, how did that happen? And how can what isn't working be important for choices that we are making next? So basically what I'm saying is, if you're feeling negative, cranky, judgmental, if you notice yourself dwelling on the problems and what's not working, or if things have happened that are making it impossible for you to move forward in the ways that you thought that you were going to move forward, and so you're feeling confused, despondent, depressed, unsure of what you're supposed to do, what I'm suggesting is that you can be with the trouble of all of that without making it like a hard, concrete reality that you're attached to. And there is a lot to be learned, and there's a lot to be gained in understanding how something has happened. So curiosity is one of your most important attributes to cultivate, not just in Sagittarius season, but I'm going to say for the foreseeable future of decades. The more that you can open your mind and be with the actual fact that even though you're Aquarius and you are really smart and you know a lot of things, you also don't know a lot of things. And there's a lot of intelligence in systems that you don't even know exist and that you definitely don't understand. And that's true for all of us. And so opening yourself in that way makes space for what some people will call the beginner's mind, right? And if you think about a time in your life when you were enthusiastic to start something or you didn't know what something was, the energy that we begin with often is a lot more receptive and quicker to learn than the energy that we have once we think that we know something. And particularly if we have developed any amount of ego around knowing something, like if we've practiced it, if we've started to identify with it, if we've made a career out of it, that can be a blockage, actually. Like, our notions of expertise can really impair our capacity to learn and to grow. Now, I'm sure you know all this already, and I'm just reminding you that a beginner's mind right now is one of the surest ways to open doors for opportunities that will allow this moment to transfigure and transform into what wants to come next. And I need to emphasize this so much right now. Pay attention to what feels off. And so if you're moving forward with something and you think you know where you're going, or you think it's a good idea, but like something feels a little funky, or if you're grasping at straws because something didn't work out and you're like, oh shit, that didn't work out, well, I can do this instead. Slow down, my friends. Slow down. This is not the time to jump into new ventures that have not been researched. RE prefix, this is a great time to research them though. This is a great time to look at your options and ask yourself why. Why would you take that road over this road? And also look at the problems. Look at what has failed or is failing, and let it hit you. let it take up space in your consciousness, and try and learn from it. Don't jump into thinking, oh, well, that failed, so I'll do the opposite. Like, don't do weird jumps of logic where you're grasping at straws. Get curious about, why didn't that plan work out? Why is this thing failing in the world? Why do I feel confused and depressed right now? What didn't manifest that I thought would? And be really curious about that. And that will open up the doors of what you want to be researching. Okay? Or like where there's some kind of reclaiming of your energy or enthusiasm or something like that. There's a new moon on November 30th that is a great new moon to meditate with offering and sacrifice. I particularly want to invite you, Aquarians, to meditate with the offering of your future and your goals and your plans and all the things that you wanted and imagined and thought might happen that right now feel like they might not, or you don't know how, or maybe those ideas and fantasies have to actually be put to rest. This is a new moon for you to really be with the mystery of life. You know, the infamous they say that life is what happens while you're making other plans. And that's kind of the mantra of this new moon for you. The future is unfolding in mysterious ways. And some of what you have planned for yourself doesn't seem like it's happening right now. And that doesn't mean that something else won't happen or that what can happen wouldn't actually be a better option for you or might have its own gifts that it's bringing. I don't mean necessarily to compare better or worse, but there are alternates that could also have a lot of opportunity and a lot of benefit that you haven't seen yet or that aren't making themselves known yet. And so this is a new moon to really let go and let go of anything that you've been holding on to that's out there, that's in the future, that's like part of something bigger that you feel like it's sand, right? Falling through your hands. Be in an offering to that right now and try and tune in with a greater sense of awareness and intelligence. After the 5th of December, energy starts to change. And if you are receptive to the current conditions, and if you allow yourself to be with the unknown, and you've cultivated some capacity to like be okay that there's problems, then what starts to shift on the 5th is like your comfort with the unknown. And it's like, yeah, sometimes we have to let go of what's known because what's coming in is beyond what we could have imagined before. And there is kind of that feeling for me that as we move into December, like, whoa, some really big shifts start to happen in your life and in your consciousness. Now, a lot of these shifts are, I'm going to say, deeply internal for you, but may also be manifesting externally in your relationships and in your one-on-one dynamics and in the ways that you think about yourself out there and in the world. And your job right now is to continue to be with the unknown, to continue to get really curious about how things are changing. Now, a lot of you might be feeling kind of intense right now, or you may be feeling like other people are really intense, like there's intensity in the relational sphere. And that intensity is here for a reason. Something is being unearthed. There are situations in your situationships, in your relationships, in your friendships, in the ways that you engage in a one-on-one or even the idea of a one-on-one. There are changes that are happening also for other people that are then going to be affecting you. And so if you feel like all of a sudden something is happening inside of a relationship specifically or how you're feeling about relating in general, I just want to let you know that you are right on time with your astrology. If you have been working on projects or you have some kind of plan or agreement with another person and all of a sudden it seems to like fall apart or get totally stalled, I just want to suggest that that plan might not be the best plan for you, or it might need to be refined and reworked a little bit. I want to give you the time span here of a couple of months. We are working with Mars stationing retrograde in Leo on December 5th. Mars does not station direct until the end of February in 2025. And so if something feels like it can't move forward at this point, please give yourself at least until March of 2025, if not all the way until April or May, when Mars finishes its shadow on May 1st, for whatever this idea, this venture, this plan, this relationship to get clarified and how things need to move forward, or if things can move forward. Now, this is a period of time that is really inviting you and giving you a lot of support to love yourself through this. And so if there are shifts in relationships, again, all levels of relationships are included here. If there are shifts happening in relationships, try not to get too freaked out. Trust that something is happening that needs to happen for an evolutionary purpose. And the more that you can be with yourself in ways that are generative, the more you will help these situations evolve. So be with yourself in ways that you enjoy. What do you like to do? What are your favorite activities? Can you make a commitment to yourself to do those kinds of things? A lot of Aquarians are people who, Aquarius is a very humanitarian sign, and a lot of Aquarians are people who spend a lot of time in community. And I will say that I think community is really important for you. I think that there's actually a lot that's shifting for you right now in your friendships and in your relationships. And I'm excited about that for you. But I'm also going to say that a lot of Aquarians need time alone, and that this stretch of time might need you to take some time alone. So if you are a person who lives with a lot of people or has a very, consistent partner or something like that, and you don't actually usually get a lot of time alone, this would definitely be a time to give that to yourself. I'll also say that this is a period of time that is ripe for experimentation and adaptation in your social life. So if new connections are coming in, new friendships, new romances, new hobby groups, if you are compelled right now to get involved with some kind of organizing or activism or community service or something like that, this is also an excellent time for you to do those kinds of things. Mercury stations direct the day of the full moon on December 15th. This is a full moon in Gemini, and Gemini is another air sign, so complementary energy for you. As Mercury stations direct, a lot of kind of forward moving ideas start to flow in, and this full moon is full of ideas. It feels really exciting for Aquarians especially. You are in a big moment of change. I've already said that a couple of times. Over the course of the next couple of years, you're really shifting how you want to use your energy. And the feeling that I have is that a lot of you are needing to be more playful. You're needing to be more spontaneous, more creative. It feels like your inner child or your inner children are whispering to you right now, and they're like, don't forget about us. And this is a full moon that is great for retrieval. Write a letter to your inner child, to your inner adolescent. How old are you? Like, go through some of your younger decades and remember with those past versions of yourself what their hopes and dreams were, what they were excited about, what they felt passionate and enthusiastic about, and then consider like how those energies might still want to manifest. And maybe they are needing to express themselves differently now, but is there a through line? Is there something that you are recovering from those periods of your life that now want to be reintegrated in your present and your future? This is a really fabulous full moon to do that kind of work. That leads us into the last few days of Sagittarius season. As we move into Capricorn season, the retrogrades and shadow energy of them will continue. So it's still a time to just experiment, adapt, be flexible, focus on what really lights you up, what really brings you joy. Get curious about the agreements that you have in relationships, the patterns, the habits, the established foundations, and what is ready to change in order for everybody in the relationship to have a little bit more space, I'm going to say, to be authentic and to grow in new and different ways, especially you. All right, Aquarius, I hope any or all of that feels helpful. I am wishing you all the best in Sagittarius season and beyond. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to your Sagittarius season reading. If this horoscope resonated for you, please show your support by liking, following, and subscribing, and by sharing this work with your friends and community. I also hope you'll consider working more deeply with us at Embodied Astrology. Because we time our classes, workshops, and events with current transits, we're always offering to the present moment, and we're usually right on time. Every month and throughout the seasons, we engage the creative, experimental, and experiential aspects of current astrology. And our work is always given with an ethos of generosity and accessibility. Our classes, workshops, and series are available with scholarship and sliding scale, and no one is turned away for lack of funds. We do rely on your support and presence to keep us going, though. So help us sustain and support our work by making a one-time or recurring donation, becoming a member, or signing up for one of our offerings. Our offerings this season are exciting, and I hope that you'll join me for some of them. Every Monday, I offer a class called Somatic Space, where we prepare ourselves to work with the astrology of the week ahead through gentle healing body practices, breathwork, meditation, and visualization. You can drop in once to try it out, or if you become a member, you'll also get access to the past class video archive and Tea Time, a monthly conversational space where we learn and share how astrology is moving through our lives and make great friends and build community in the process. Over the course of Sagittarius season, we're also offering a number of unique workshops that are timed to help us meet this moment of change and transformation that Sagittarius season is bringing. On Sunday, December 1st, Embodied Astrology is honored to offer a new moon somatic grief ritual and ceremony of connection with ancestors, elements, and the earth, facilitated by Ekua Adisa. Ekua is a grief guide, death care worker, medicine person, medium, world shaper, and ritualist who will be joining our facilitator, Sherry Taylor, in her Embodied Astrology series exploring the femme and queer faces of Saturn, Salve e Coagula. Sherry will be joined again on the solstice, December 21st, for a year's end writing ritual co-led with Janata Petrus. This is an opportunity to reflect with the astrology and the personal and collective lessons of 2024 before we transition into a new calendar year. In between these two sessions with Sherry, you can also join Janata for December 15th's Full Moon Artistic Alchemy session, where you'll learn more about the Sagittarius-Gemini axis in your chart and practice tapping into this energetic polarity through prompts and personal reflections that guide support for living and expressing your courageous creativity throughout the seasons. Finally, on December 7th, the day that Neptune stations direct from its 6-month retrograde, please join us for the final session in the Nebula Lab series hosted by Gabs 404. Over the past 6 months, the Nebula Lab has been a place where we've been learning about Neptune's current transit in the last degrees of the zodiac through art, culture, media, embodiment, history, and technology. In this culminating session, Gabs is joined by Danny D'Amelia. Danny is an artist and educator working at the intersections of performance, visual art, radical pedagogy, and social, relational, ecological justice. Danny will guide us in an exploration of radical intimacy, unnumbing and expanding our awareness of interrelatedness beyond the human realms. These are, of course, some of the qualities and conditions which we'll most need in the year ahead and the years to come, so I truly hope that you can join us. You can find more information about everything and everyone I just mentioned in the show notes or through the study section at embodiedastrology.com. If you can't make our live events, but you still want to participate, your registration always includes recording access. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening and engaging. I truly hope to see you in an embodied astrology space soon. Bye for now.